Sustainability, a word often overlooked, but a term that is essential for farmers around the world. Good morning, Mr. Chairperson, honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, sustainability is a method of harvesting or using a resource so that the resource is not depleted or permanently damaged. The 2005 World Summit on Social Development identified sustainability in a three-dimensional model of three overlapping ellipses. All the ellipses demonstrate the three parts of sustainability, which are economy, society, and environment. They cannot exist without the others. They are interdependent. As the world population increases, resources are depleting. The population is expected to rise to 8.5 billion people by 2030 and exceed 9 billion people by 2050. And it's expected to reach 11.2 billion people by the 22nd century. This is far beyond the carrying capacity of the Earth. As of 2008, the ecological footprint for each person was an estimated 2.7 global hectares per person, 30% more than the natural biological capacity of the Earth. With this continuing, the Earth is unable to sustain the rising population. So what does this mean for Canadian agriculture? The Agriculture Minister of Canada is working towards a 2018 launch of the Food Policy of Canada, which one of the main focuses is conserving our soil, water, and air. The policy is working towards using environmentally sustainable practices to ensure Canadians have long-term, reliable, and abundant supply of food. As of right now, the way our food is being produced, processed, distributed, and consumed can have environmental implications. Some of these implications include greenhouse gas emissions, soil degeneration, water quality and availability, and wildlife loss. Many farms around Canada have already been working towards making their farms have less of an environmental impact. Canola farmers in Canada have started working towards a more sustainable form of farming. They're using less fuel and herbicides and are better utilizing fertilizers than ever before. This is mostly because of advancements in agronomic data, machinery, and crop inputs. These make farmers have the ability to choose the best crop for the soil and the right herbicides needed for their particular environment. According to Jack Froys, a farmer from Manitoba, we're producing more with less and doing a better job at conserving moisture in our soil. Canola farmers use zero to minimal till to allow farmers to grow canola without disturbing the soil. Doing this reduces fuel consumption, greenhouse gas emissions, and improves the health of the soil. The extent of the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions is equivalent to taking 2.5 million cars off the road every year, which is a pretty large impact. Froese explains it's a delicate balance you're trying to create as a producer because the end result is that you have to leave the soil in better condition than when you took them over, or else you're not being sustainable. Dairy farmers also have initiatives that work towards sustainability in Canada. The first initiatives, according to Dairy Farmers of Canada, is reducing their greenhouse gas emissions. Dairy Farmers of Canada is, with partnership from the Canadian government, investing in 13 research projects measuring emissions from dairy farms. They're trying to improve many aspects of dairy farms, such as feed and nutrition, animal health, technologies, and reducing the carbon footprint of dairy production. Dairy Farmers of Canada is working towards a full environmental and socio-economic life cycle assessment of dairy production. This will identify areas of improvement to reduce dairy farms' carbon footprint. The farmers are looking towards the sustainable management of natural resources. They look at aspects of farming such as genetic improvement and animal nutrition and research, and then use them to improve their understanding of cows' needs and learn to improve the efficiency of milk production in Canada. They use less resources such as land, water, and fertilizer in their farms and create more sustainable dairy farms. There are 50% less dairy cows in Canada than there were 40 years ago, and they have kept with the needs of a population that has increased by 12 million people since then. Their environmental impact from this is that there's less manure and methane produced and less water and fertilizer is needed. The dairy farmers of Canada are also looking at how to make improvements in their soil and air quality. For improving the soil, they apply aspects of farming such as crop rotation, growing forages, reducing fertilizer, and not tilling before planting. By not tilling before planting, it stores the carbon in the soil and reduces the greenhouse gas emissions. For the air quality, they use manure as fertilizer, which reduces odor and greenhouse gas emissions in the air. Many farmers are also using forms of renewable energy to run their operations. They use solar panel and windmill as forms of renewable energy. They have biodigesters, which turn waste into energy through anaerobic digestion. Similar to composting, the manure is broken down in a methane-rich biogas and digestate. The energy produced by this is enough energy to heat and light as many as 300 households. The last two aspects of sustainability of dairy farmers in Canada are protecting water and increasing the biodiversity. Dairy farmers must protect the water their cows drink from bacterial contamination to make sure that they can produce safe milk. To do this, they limit the access of bodies of water on the farm and locate their manure storage away from any water. They leave uncultivated areas between the fields and the waterways. Water is tested regularly to ensure quality. Having these fields and the waterways create a biodiverse nature for Canada, and many farmers collaborate with Ducks Unlimited to preserve wildlife. With these initiatives in place and more research being done, sustainability in Canadian agriculture has greatly improved, and these are just two types of farming. With the research being done, the sustainability in Canada has a better chance of sustaining the population than it ever has before.